Were you able to do a reading of the last section? So you need to do some homework, probably. Otherwise you will forget. Whenever we finish a certain section, better to do a revision, understanding what we talk. So last Monday we discussed about Patisevana, right? Patisevana. Patisevana means one of the methods of overcoming akusalas. What does Patisevana mean? The repeated reflection of the needs, basic needs. There are 4 basic needs: clothing, food, shelter and medications. When we do not do that, when we do not repeatedly reflecting upon how we eat, what we eat, where we eat, how often we eat, how we get dressed, how we look at our dressing, what are the perception of how we dress, how other people dress, and how we use houses, real estates, properties, and then what are the perceptions that we are making over time about our houses, inheritance. It connects to many things: inheritance, wills, and then the perception that we have about our medications, drugs, medical systems, doctors. So it's a very broad conversation about basic needs. So ways and means, how you look at them, how you perceive them, can make kusala or akusala. So we are going to minimize any akusala that are arising from the unwise use. I would say when you don't do the repeated reflection about these aspects, basic aspects, then you are mostly coming out of akusalas, that you are developing akusalas on a daily basis, right? So once we finish, then you should be able to incorporate into life, right? Isn't it? Otherwise it's going to be a on the cushion meditation. Nah? People meditate on the cushion. Once they off the cushion, everything is gone. Fall back to the earth. The real meditation happens when you are off the cushion, right? Not on the cushion. On the cushion meditation is good to develop, deepen, intensify. But that's not the real time where you're getting distractions, akusalas. In the same way, these teachings you might write down, you might note, you might watch. So you are carrying a lot of Dhamma seeds back home, but you never plant sometime. They are things that you might probably put inside a shelf. In order to plant the seed that you are listening, understanding, you need to plant it. How to plant it? Practice, application. That is the only way. I understand different people respond to practice differently. It's like a good drug responds to different people differently. But you can try. You can try your best, right? There's no harm. If things are not successful, 100%, but you are trying your best, right? Even the repellents or what you call sanitizers don't say that they have 100% protection. 99% kills bacteria. No? 99%. 1% is not sure. That means this guarantee is not anywhere. So we are trying to practice. Not just to say practice. How to practice? To do some little projects, not to do everything in one day. That is how you're going to do. If you want to improve your life, do certain little projects. A little bit of good karma, a little bit of good action, a little bit of good speech. Not that on one day you are going to talk the whole good thing. Can you do that? You will never do that. right? Now in Sri Lanka there is a long-held discussion about to conduct a Dhamma Sanggayana council, Dhamma council. Normally these councils happen in the olden days to preserve the Dhamma. After the third Sanggayana, to dispel the bad Sangha, right? Now the Sanggayana, the word Sanggayana came up, they think, we have to remove the bad Sangha, right? But you cannot do such a very big project. In order to develop Buddha Sasana, you cannot do a very big project. You have to do small projects, little things. Then when we all do little projects, things are moving on the right direction. In the same way, when you think about your practice, you cannot become a better person in one day. It is unrealistic, especially the Dhamma practice. These very important teachings. You need to practice certain small things every day. One day, you will bloom. Transformation happens. So that's how we're going to look at the seed. You are bringing seed back home in the form of voice recorders, notepads, so and so forth. But they won't be planted as long as you're going to put them into practice in small ways. There's a saying that do even a small thing in great way. Do even a small thing in great way. Interesting. Now we are going on to our topic today, Adhivasana, Pahatabba. This is going to be, the first one is Dasana, then Sangvara number 2, then third is Patisevana, today fourth Adhivasana. Adhivasana, what does Adhivasana mean? Adhivasana. Any thoughts? Let's go by the definition. Let's go by the definition of Adhivasana. See this word. We have to understand this word by definition. You might say tolerance. What is this Pali word? What does Adhi mean? Adhi? Any thoughts about Adhi? Superior? This is? Do we have superior thing in Buddhism? Supreme. What does Adi mean? Adi. Have you ever heard this term? Adi Sila? Very famous word, Adi. Then? Noble? Noble means Arya. Arya. There is a particular Pali word for that, noble. Arya means noble. That's why we need some Pali. This is the issue. This could be tolerance, patience, forbearance, whatever you name it. And this could be, this is how you think. These superlative terms. Abnormal? Oh, that has gone way beyond than these sections. Abnormal, no. This is what is this in Pali? Adi, prefix. This is a prefix. Prefix. What does prefix mean? Upasagga in Pali. Upasagga. So whatever comes at the beginning, like these terms, prefix. These are called suffixes. Suffix. Normally we take it prefix. So prefixes are changing the meaning of the next word. Adi means higher. Higher. So higher and superior, supreme, they are two polar ends. In Buddhism, we don't use the word what you call supreme although we use it for Nibbana, but we don't call it in the normal practice, because superior, supreme, they are one of the inferiority complexes. We have Heenamana, conceit, Mana. Mana means size up, I compare myself to somebody. So this Mana has three: Heena, Seyya, Sadisa. So there are people who are always thinking that I am inferior than you. Inferiority complex. And there are people who always think I am on a par with you. I am the same like you. You are like me, we are from the same batch from the university, right? And we studied the same thing. And we have the same affordability. So Buddha said it's a conceit. And then Sadisa that is Sadisa. Seyya means thinking I am superior than somebody. I am superior. Seyya means superior. Sadisa means trying to compare other people to oneself in a way that there is no difference. Now the reason why I showed was Adi. So that means higher. This is not what it means. Adi. Then Vasana. Vasana means interesting word, no? Vasana. Now, Vasana has been a formed word. Normally the word comes from Vasati. Vasati means to live. To live. That means to live. But when it becomes vasana, that means the state of living. That means living. So higher living. Higher living. That means patience. Patience is the higher living. Because we are just living in the way how we live. But if you want to live higher, you have to be patient. Right? Adhivasana. Another meaning of vasana is another context that originally come from vasana actually. Vasana means previous karmas. Another meaning of vasana is, you can come over here. You got a seat in the first row. Yeah, another seat too. So there are two meanings, but as you can see, vasana means previous karma, my vasana. How do I know? It is said that when the Buddha became the Buddha, he eradicated akusalas with vasana. This is the Buddhas, Samma Sambuddhas. When Arahants attain Nibbana, they do not eradicate vasana. Sansaric habits, we call them habits. Previous karmic habits. One example is that, now there was one Arahant called Pilindivacha. He calls everybody as an outcast. Even if you meet him, he might call you, hey outcast, how are you doing today? But he's an Arahant. Because he has been a Brahmin for many thousand lives. So the Brahmins call the inferior caste to be outcast. Right? So it is because, just because you attain Nibbana, Arahants do not cut the vasana part. Only the Samma Sambuddhas eradicate that. Interesting, huh? That is another meaning of vasana, but this is not the meaning here. This meaning is to live. That means to live higher or higher living. That means patience. What do you think about it? Is patience the higher living? What are your experiences in your life? The more you are patient, the longer you can survive in anything. In studies, in relationships, in whatever the experiences. But once you run out of your patience, everything is going to work in a different way. Like some people's life, morning they are loving, evening they are fighting. Love and hate relationships. Right? Again, back again in the morning, they are okay, they are good. Something happens to them by the morning. So, patience is a good thing. There may be reasons why some people cannot be patient. We have to study today. What are those reasons? Why they are held back by certain conditions. All right, so Adhivasana. Now the Buddha says, when you have a certain degree of patience, there are certain akusalas will go away from you. That you can deal with them. That means they will not arise. Right? So patience is not just a normal virtue. In fact, patience is the beginning of all the kusalas. Without patience, you cannot do any good karma, any kusala. Is it okay if I erase? Do you agree with that statement? The Buddha said in one place, patience is the root of all the kusalas. Patience is the root of all kusalas. You will name it good karma, good thing, whatever. Now you have heard about akusala roots, right? Lobha, dosa, moha, right? What are the roots of lobha, dosa, moha? Asavas. These asavas, 3 asavas. But you have never thought about the roots of the kusala. You might say, no, it might be alobha, dosa, moha, dana, metta, panya. But the real root, even the greatest root of dana, metta, panya is kanti. Kanti. You could say adhivasana in a verb form, but the true name is kanti. Why is it? Now if you want to offer dana, if it is the alobha, you have to be patient. Just because you want to offer, let's say you go to a Vihara to bring some dana, you cannot offer just because you want to offer. You have to probably know the timing. You have to probably deal with certain people over there. You have to know certain things. Maybe monks may have accepted certain other invitations before than you, right? Maybe other devotees might have picked up you that day. It needs lots of patience to understand what's going on and how to practice that. Then metta, if you don't have patience, you cannot even think about metta. Forget about it. You know metta is good, but if you don't have patience, you cannot even think about, I should do it or not. So even mindfulness, meditation, if you are not patient, you cannot practice meditation. Even you cannot sit, even you cannot think about it. That means patience is more important than all the kusalas. Meditation, dana, sila, nekkhamma. This is the highest root of all the kusalas. Buddha said that in one particular place. So then, if patience is the root, then all the other kusalas start from there, emanating, springing from there. Very interesting. All they are what you call discharged by patience. Patience discharges all the other kusalas. So today we are understanding if you are properly patient, not in your own way. You might say, I am patient. That is very subjective. But you are properly, truly patient in the Buddhist way, then you can, what will happen to you? How much are you going, how much can you overcome your own asavas? Let's see the text. Katamecha bhikkhave asava adhivasana pahatabba. What are the asavas that you can overcome by practicing patience? Ida bhikkhave bhikkhu patisanka yoniso kamo. Kamo. Another word. Kamo. Kamo is also okay. Kanti or kama, same meaning. Kamo hoti, that means be patient. Be patient for what? Sitassa, unhassa, jigachaya, pipasa, dansa, makasa, vata, tapasirin, sapasampassananga. I think we discussed that in an earlier section for a different purpose. Now it has come for the patient side. If you can be patient with the cold, are we going to be patient when the cold is hitting us? Or are we angry about the cold? Hey, it's too cold, go and turn off the light. Not light, aircon. Right? You are going to be resisting with what's happening. And anger, hatred, what you call the repulsion happens the moment that you don't like. When you don't like, repulsion happens. I mean, resistance, you resist. There's no flow. You are trying to be in conflict with that particular activity. But here, yes, if you have a problem, health issue, other issue, yes, it has to be turned off. But there's a certain way to turn it off. That means now you are patient when you are having cold. Unhasa, when it is too hot, also you are going to be patient. What is happening when people are feeling too cold and too hot? Are they making some holistic statements? Are they going to be really, in conflict with what is happening? And probably they are mostly in conflict with oneself and with other people. Maybe they might pick on the person who is liking the cold and the heat at that point, right? So there's no that patient. The patient level that the Buddha talks about here is not normally in a normal individual. That means we have to develop. Yes, if you don't like Sita, there's a way how to approach that. Not that you're going to get mad, get frustrated in a moment of time. Even so is the hot, heat. Then jigachaya pipasaya. Jigachaya, when you are hungry, you should be patient. But not many people can be patient when they are hungry. A lot of people getting angry when they are hungry. Isn't it? Right? If you haven't taken your food, don't go to deeper conversations. Because you are not really doing that properly. So you are going to pick on other people because you are hungry. Right? So hungry. That means hunger is a state of body in a place where people can create akusalas. You might think, oh, what is hunger? Hunger is happening all the time. But hunger can create you lots of akusalas. That means when you are hungry, eat something. It might cost your mentality, it might cost your body. When people don't eat properly at the right timing, they're getting gastric. That is a physical cost. Mentally, it costs a lot. Your relationships, whatever the connections you are happening, your emotional health with other people, it costs, definitely. And you will suffer later. What happened after that? Right? Sometimes you can't repair it too. So jigachaya. Then pipasaya. Thirst. When you are thirsty, drink something. Right? There is no such thing that you have to suffer with that hunger and then thirst. That means you need to have, if you don't have access to these things, you need some level of patience. Jigachaya, pipasa. Then dansa, makasa, vata. These are some of the attacks that can happen from animals. Dansa means, I already explained to you, dansa, a get fly. What kind of fly is that? This fly is normally available in farming places. They are drinking blood on cows, those big guys. Not a normal fly. Dancer. Makasa? Our friend, mosquito. Mosquitoes. So, in case the gadflies are going to come and sting us, in case the mosquitoes are going to come and do something, vata, wind, atapa, hot sun. Sirinsapa, reptiles. Sampassana. Right? Now, this has to be understood according to the Buddhist time. Buddhist time, these animals were troubling others, people. Nowadays, we don't have lots of issues. We don't have gadflies. We are not living in a farming place. Makasa, yes, we have issues with mosquito. I think this issue comes when you are not keeping your house clean and tidy, at the same time not closing your doors and windows properly, right? And then Vata, yes, we can take care of us from wind. Atapa, we have umbrellas and we have lots of things. Sirinsapa, we don't almost not see any reptiles nowadays, right? Because of this construction, because of the industrialization, you don't see reptiles. Reptiles have gone some other places unless you bump into them. But at that time, there were certain issues with these aspects. So, whenever these issues are awaiting, then the Buddha asks people to patiently handle with these things. Then, interestingly, another part is telling something very insightful. Duruttanang, duragatanang, vachana patang. More than the previous things that bug us, that bother us, this emphasizes a very different area of our impatience. Duruttana. Duruttana means? Duruttana. Duruttana means ill-spoken. Ill-spoken. Now you know what are we going to talk about here? Words, speech. Duruttanang, duragatanang. Duragatana means? Duragatanang. Duragatana means? Unwelcoming. Now, we might be very, I would say, irritated when other people are bad-mouthing about us, when they are ill-speaking about us, at the same time when they are unwelcoming us with their own speech styles. Then, vachana patang. The Buddha said we have to have a very higher level of patience when other people are going to ill-speaking, I would say, bad-mouthing or using unwelcoming words for us. Right? Is it easy? Is it easy to be patient when you hear that somebody badmouth about you? What is the first perception alongside the feeling that comes to you? It depends on the person. Your anger will go high if you know the person very well, if that person is very close to you. Right? But if somebody who is far away, you don't mind that, right? Because you don't have a close association with that person. But if the person is close to you, but you hear that this person badmouth, you feel like, what is this? Right? So your whole internal world seems to be like collapsing because you trusted that person. So at this point, we have to learn some Dhamma things about speech. Speech, huh? Let's learn about speech. I will keep it. It's good till the end. What is speech in Buddhism? Speech. Huh? Vacha. How does, vacha is the word. Speech means vacha. We had to say samma vacha. Samma vacha. Wholesome speech. Huh? Wholesome, not just a speech. According to the Buddha, how does speech arise? Our words, how do they arise? Huh? Mind? Yes, definitely. But what are the Pali context? Huh? Pardon me? Sankap. Yes, supposedly sankap. So, samma ditti, samma sankappa, samma vacha. Yes, you are right. But this sankappa, Sankappa does something. Sankappa adds something to the, when it comes to the, if you say Sankappa is intention. Sankappa has to be processed into the vacha. What is that process? Sankappa has to go through a process. Huh? Yeah, how do you call in Pali? Huh? Vitakka vichara. Vitakka and vichara. Thoughts or intentions that are enriched by vitakka and vichara form speech. That is the Pali context. Now, when you say mind is an English context. Vitakka, vichara. What is vitakka? What is vichara? Vitakka? Vitakka means an idea. Vitakka means an idea. Now your intentions are transformed into ideas. Vichara? Vichara is what mounts an idea onto the speech. You know? Now you have a phone, you have to take a picture without your hand, then you need to mount it on a tripod. Mount it on a tripod and take the picture. That mounting is vichara. Vitakka is the idea. That mounting space is vichara. Then vacha is coming out. It can be wholesome, it can be unwholesome. Okay, this is vacha. Is vacha very important in our Dhamma practice? Why? The Buddha said, from mind we make 3 akusala. From action we make 3 akusala. From speech we make 4. That means we make more akusalas with speech. Right? Isn't it? We have to be very careful with the mouth. Very careful. I think most of the problems happening from the mouth, you know, starting from the politicians down to the household, they happen from the mouth. Most of the akusalas happen in today's world also come from mouth. More than the mind and the actions. There are certain akusalas, but speech is more important, I think. What are the 4 akusalas that are happening from your mouth? Musavada, Pisunavacha, Parusavacha, Sampappalapa. Why do I write in Pali? Then your understanding will become very specific. That's why I write in Pali. If I write in English, people may translate differently. Right? Sampappalapa. Then we translate. Okay. Musavada. Yeah, musavada means lying. But lying is a very complicated topic. Because some areas of lying seemingly conflict with the other Buddhist teachings. Why do I say so? Some context of the musavada are in conflict with technicality of the musavada. For example, now it might be true, but if you speak the truth at certain times, there will be more harm happening. At that point, you cannot be silent, you have to say something. It might not be untrue technically. So musavada is not always the technical truth of something. It's not the technical truth. It might be, it might be not. So when we speak the truth, we have to understand place, people, impact, consequences. I mean, these consequences at that point. But in good faith, your intention has to be clear. It's pretty much about the intention. And we don't actually agree with the white lies that people are saying on April 1st. Musavada has to be understood in two ways. One way is technical Musavada aspect. On the other hand, non-technical version of the Musavada. Technical version is we are not supposed to say anything that did not happen. Fabrications. Non-technical version is when you talk the truth at a certain point, if people are running into an argument and then going to fight and then probably end up with a certain violent thing, then you are going to delay that truth to a certain time, because you are becoming wise more than just telling what happened. Like the news media, like these news channels, they report everything onto the news. They don't know what is happening after reporting. Deaths and all these criminals, gruesome crimes. They are not sometimes thinking about the impact. They have to report, but in a certain way, you know. So truth should be told depending on the situation. But if you are not saying the truth, the technical truth, you have to explain one day why you did not say so. But we are very concerned about what will happen when we talk certain words. So Musavada has two perspectives, technical, non-technical. But trying to speak the truth. And the Buddha said in one Dhammapada stanza, one requirement to be reborn as a Deva is speaking the truth. Satchang bhane na kujjaya dajja pasmimpi yachito. There are three things that you need to do if you want to be a Deva. Speak the truth. And then Satchang bhane na kujjaya. Do not become angry. Then third thing is give what you can. This is interesting, Give what you can, not what you cannot. Very interesting. Dajja pasmi, even a little. So speak the truth. The Buddha says, Satchang bhane na kujjaya, don't be angry. And then Dajja paspimpi yajitu etehi tinitanehi. Through these three steps, gacche devana santike. Somebody goes to the devas. 3 ladders to go to the devas. So if you are angry, you have no place for going to be a deva, to be with the deva. So speak the truth. Very interesting. And it is said devas very much like people who speak the truth. Right? And it is said that since the Bodhisattva time of Shakyamuni Buddha, he never spoke a lie. Therefore, when he talks, a smell of a blue lotus is emanating from his mouth. Interesting. These are some of the things. Anyways, so going back to the first ones, Musavada Veramani. That means we are not supposed to speak lies, speak the truth. But when telling the truth, you have to be careful about the technical side, non-technical side. Pretty much become an honest person. Honest person with wisdom. This is very important. Now yesterday I was doing a retreat. Somebody was asking, Bhante, why do we have to take precepts every day? If I am not doing anything wrong, if I am honest to myself, why do I take precepts? Good idea, right? If you are honest, why do I take, when I go for the puja in the morning, I take it. Lunch puja also I take it. Evening puja also I take it. Dhamma talk also I take it. For what? Because this might be a ceremonial thing, but it's my practice. I said, it's a good idea. Thank you for coming up with that idea. But don't discuss this with the normal average people, I mean, it might be a different thing. So in the same way, I'm saying, speaking the truth is as such. So if you have some honesty with wisdom, you know what to talk, where to talk, and you are maintaining this part. Then Pisuna Vacha. Pisuna Vacha. Pisuna Vacha means? Pardon me? Slandering. If we make it more simple? Harsh speech? Oh, that's the third one. Pisuna Vacha means? Okay, divisive speech. Oh, I would say divided speech. Divisive speech. That means when we talk, we should be able to unite people together, not to divide people. Now, politicians, when they talk, they divide people to get votes. The more people are divided, the easier they can get the vote everywhere in the world, either in a conservative perspective or a very liberal perspective. So when you talk in your household, try to think whether my speech leads to a division among my family members, division between me and my husband, me and my wife, right? Always think about it. Then you are very careful about what you are talking. That's very important. Even when you are talking with friends, right? You have to be very careful. Am I uniting the people, my friends, or am I trying to divide them separately? People divide others for what? For certain things. Maybe they are jealous. Maybe they have an ulterior motive. Maybe they don't know what they do. Not sure. Right? They don't know what they do. They just do it. Only when somebody is very mad, sorry about that. Oh, they have no idea at all. So we have to have some tolerance about these people, but these are actually having some motives. Okay, and then Parusa Vacha. Parusa Vacha means harsh speech. This one, the one we are talking, Duruttana. Duragatanang Vachanapata. Duruttana means ill-spoken. Duragatanang, unwelcoming speech. That means we don't like when someone hurts us in whatever their jargon language words. We don't like to hear words that are really not welcoming us. Right? So, how do we do that? How do we use welcoming words? How do we use very pleasant words? Some people are naturally very pleasant, maybe from their family background, maybe from their environment, right? Maybe the way how they were brought up, maybe from their sansara. Very pleasant, very soft-spoken, like whatever the words that they are talking, they are thinking twice, not too much. But some are bornly very unpleasant. They are naturally unpleasant. Maybe their parental background, maybe their family, maybe they were abused in their household, maybe they are abused in the sansara. So they are pretty much bad on others, very mean. Why is it? It is because there are certain conditions that they have gone through. For us, we are trying to speak in a way by understanding the audience. Remember, there is a Jataka story called Nandi Visala. Nandi Visala. Nandi Visala Jataka story. Anybody read this Jataka story? Nandi Visala means a very big bull. This big bull, maybe a cow, was taken to a competition. So there are many other cows. They are having a competition. Which cow can run faster? Right? In today's world, you can see them. So the owner of Nandi Visala was talking to Nandi Visala in very bad ways, Hey, just try to hit that, get that thing, all that. So Nandi Visala was not happy, so he did not move. So he lost. The owner lost the game. Then, under the advice of probably the Bodhisattva, so the owner talks to Nandi Visala, hello son, please go faster. In a very charming, pleasant way. Then they won the game. Yes, the cow ran very fast. And even the animals like to be called in pleasant good words. I think you can feel that. If you have a pet, they know the tone. If you raise the tone, they know. Right? What about the humans? Huh? You truly like that thing. And if somebody is talking in a very pleasant way, everybody likes that company. Because in today's world, we don't hear that much. So always try to speak in a good way, but be careful. When sometimes when you are very courteous, good, I would say, very much sensitive to this pleasant thing, other people can take advantage of you. You have to be careful too. But just because there are bad people, don't destroy your good practice also. I think this happens to many. When there are bad people, they have taken advantage of their compassion, mudita, karuna, then they start to become evil too. I'm asking those people, why are you such? There may be bad people, so you have to know how to be smart in doing good things to other people. Just because of a couple bad people, don't be bad. You are a good person. Right? So, manage that side. Then sampappalapa means sampappalapa. It means sampappalapa. There are two aspects of sampappalapa. Gossiping, idle chatting. There may be many aspects, but I would just divide them into two. Gossiping. Gossiping is not a good speech. What is gossiping? Any thoughts? Gossiping? Somebody told me not speaking beneficial things. Right? Not speaking beneficial things. Then I said, what about one gossip? There are two gossipers. One gossiper talks beneficial things to another gossiper. Interesting. Right? One liar talks lies to another liar. But this is interesting. One gossiper talks beneficial things to another gossiper. Since morning till night, they are talking about what happened with one of their friends. It's not just beneficial actually. Gossiping means non-virtuous talk. Especially wasting time, wasting your precious time. If you really know your value, you will never spend 1 minute of your life. Because you don't know the value of life, you will waste, especially by gossiping. A good analogy is that if you are busy with work, you are really thinking about your work. I'm busy, I'm at work, don't call me. Right? But if you really know the true value of your life, you will never spend 1 single second. Right? Gossiping. Then idle chatting. Idle chatting means? In the Buddhist way, what is the time now? 9:22. We have time until 10 now. Let's talk something. This kind of approach. Just wasting time, just idling. But we understand each moment is very important to us. So now you can see the different aspects of speech. But here the Buddha says that we have to develop more patience toward ill-spoken, duruttana and duragatana, unwelcoming words. How to do that actually? Now let's say all of a sudden somebody is going to mean to you and trying to talk bad things to you and then trying to be very unwelcoming to you. What could we do according to Buddhist teachings? It's not a very random thing. It can happen anytime, right? May I ask you, what can you do when somebody is very mean to you in their speech? What you may have done is that you were mean back. You were mean back. Why you were mean to me, I'm going to be mean to you as well. Patience. Yes, we all know we have to be patient. But patience is not coming at that time. At that time, I'm telling off the cushion, that off the cushion time, there is no patience. On the cushion, you are, oh yeah, I'm good. Almost going to attain Sotapanna now, I'm asking what to do.
Smile it off.
I
usually
Smile. Okay. Interesting. Ignore. Ignore, run away. But that person doesn't let you run away. Hey, stay. You cannot go anywhere. Yeah, practice upekkha. Not easy at the moment, at that moment. So there are 3 things you can do. Especially when things are really bad. Okay. One is a pre-practice. One is during the time. One is a post-practice. Now let's say you are angry. You became angry just now. Then this is what you are supposed to do. Can we practice metta when we are angry? Difficult. Then it is not a during practice, it is a pre-practice. Metta is a pre-practice. It's not a practice that you are doing, trying to do during the time. Then, during the time, what can we do? So if metta cannot be, then how about how we do karuna? If metta we cannot do the fundamental one, then how can we go to karuna? They are higher states. Metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha. You are angry already, so sati also gone already. No sati. Angry. Angry means no sati. No mindfulness. Then what to do? Now you are angry. Then at that point, accept your anger. Recognize and accept your anger. Right? Once you do that, you can think about a metta practice. Because the emotion has already started. You have sadly gone to the wrong side. Right? Let's say you are driving on a road. What if that you are driving on the edge of the road? Then you have to accept that I am driving on the wrong side of the road. You have to accept that. Then you have to slowly bring the tires back to the right path. Then, sadly, at this point you have gone wrong. You have to recognize, accept, and then move on to a practice. With sati maybe, metta. Now, in the same way, as a post-practice, then you are going to think about what happened to you. Now, I always say to some people, if you are an angry person, write down what you feel when you're angry. Then read that later as a post-practice. Then you see how evil can you go. It's very good actually. Then you will know that evil nature that you don't see when you are normal, good. Now let me ask you, where is our anger now? Can you become angry anytime? If somebody pushes your button, you'll be angry, in the wrong way. So, if you can be angry anytime, your anger must be staying somewhere now. Where is it? Where is your anger now? If you can be angry anytime in your life, even now, if you want to be, then that anger must be present somewhere in your thought structures, emotional structures. Then where is it lying? No, I'm asking, where is it now? Where is the anger? Anger is sleeping now, isn't it? Yes, it's sleeping. We call it anusaya. Anusaya in Pali. In English we call latent. Latent. They are sleeping. Call it a cobra, snake, sleeping now. Let them sleep, If they wake up, how they wake up? conditions that are favorable to the snakes come, then they're going to wake up. So we have to be very careful when the conditions are coming favorable to the anusayas, lobha, dosa, moha. So now we are talking about a different aspect of this pre-practice during pose. When somebody is angry, when somebody is talking bad to you, how would we respond to that person as a pre-practice, during, post-practice? That's interesting. Pre-practice, yes, metta, definitely we have to practice metta. So we practice metta in the proper way. What is the proper way to practice metta? How to practice metta in the proper way? We have to go to the Metta Sutta. How did the Buddha ask us to practice the metta? If you read the Metta Sutta, you can see that. Naparo paranni kubbeta, nati manyeta katta chinang kanchi, vyarosana patiga sanya, nanya manyasa dukkha micceya. With vyarosana and patiga sanya, let no one, naparo paranni kubbet, let no one cheat another. Cheating. Cheating. Is this a big issue in today's world? Very wise teaching. With vyarosana patika sanya, let no one cheat another. Then, second line, naparo paranni kubbeta, nati manyeta katta chinang kanchi. Let no one, nowhere, insult another. Naparo paranni kubbeta, nati manyeta, insult, katta chinang kanchi. Let no one, nowhere, insult another. That means cheating, insulting, nowhere, no time. With vyarosana means anger and patiga means ill will. Finally, it gives the real status of the metta, the highest status. What is it? Nanya manyasa dukkha micceya. Let no one expect the suffering of another person. That is the highest level of metta. Let no one expect suffering, unhappiness of anybody in this world for whatever the reason. You may have reasons to justify, but you will never go to that level. That is the highest metta. How many of you have heard other people saying, it's good that happened to this person. Very good. He should suffer. There's no metta at all. They have their own metta. They do metta to their loved ones, their preferred choices. That is not metta. That is nepotism, favoritism. That is not metta. Metta means you are having this bigger, larger, broader perspective to every living being. Then, if you take another example from Metta Sutta, Tittang charang nisinnova sayanova yavatassa vigata mittu etang sating aditteya brahmametang viharang idamahu. The Buddha said, when you tittang, stand, charang, walk, nisinnova, sit, sayanova, lie down, yavatassa vigata middo, as long as you are awake, you are not sleeping. Etang sating aditteya, this sati must be brought up. What sati? Metta sati. That means metta sati means this metta should be brought up. Because etang sating aditteya, brahma metang, this is the highest state of mind of anybody. Now we have different states of mind. We have karma, lust, anger, delusion, what do you call mudita. But out of all, metta takes precedence. Metta is the highest state of mind. This metta, okay, not that metta. That favorite metta. It's not that favorite metta. This metta means that you have no thoughts of cheating other people, business-wise, relationship-wise, marketing-wise, political-wise, religious-wise. Then, no thoughts of insulting other people. So, metta. As a pre-practice, we can do metta to understand. It's a practice. You are practicing. Still, you are not, bad-mouthed by somebody, even in front or in absence. Then during this thing, let's say now you are hearing duruttanang, duragatanang, vachanapatang. Vachanapatang means word structures. Patang means structure. Patang, structures. Now you are hearing somebody is bad-mouthing you in front of you in very bad ways, picking up your life, picking up your everything. So then now you are here during, what can you do? What could be a good way to behave when somebody is bad-mouthing in front of you? Really bad way. Somebody says walk away, run away. Huh? Huh?
Silent.
Being silent. For how long? Then others. This is mattering to all of us. Tell something. This is very applicable to all of us. True Dhamma, not like those Sotapanna Nibbana thing. True Dhamma, because we are all everyday experiencing this thing. True things, real stuff. What can we do? Yeah, run away, walk away. But this person might close the door, because he wants you to listen to whatever the bad things. Yes?
Depends on situation.
Yes.
For me, I'll just silence on it off and I'll wait. And if it continue to a limit, then I will stand up.
But he's going more than the limit.
Yeah. Over the limit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then what would you do?
I'll stand up, but not with a harsh voice.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Adhivasana. Yes.
Giving him respect, raising my voice, my stand, and giving him the respect to show him that I love him. I'm not there to harm him.
Yes.
But you have wrong. That is what I do, and I've done that. I don't know.
Good. Your perspective. Others? What is your own personal strategy when somebody is bad-mouthing in front of you?
Change the subject. Stop something.
So they might say, don't change the subject. They say, so what? Don't change the subject.
Do you ask why that
It's a good question. Why are you blaming me? What wrong have I done to you? Right? That's a good place to discuss with an intellectual person. Right? That's a good place. But what if that person is not disclosing what happened? Just keep blaming. We don't mind about that.
we first listen.
Huh?
After that we summarize to them what you have been saying.
Yes. I think each situation is very, very distinct. We have to go case by case. But what we can do initially we learn from the Buddha. Now, when people blame the Buddha, he did not argue with anybody. Right? He did not argue. Now, when there are Brahmins came to Buddha and then started blaming, he patiently listened to them. Once they finish, he makes sure, are you done? The Brahmins are intellectuals, but they can go emotionally very wrong, weird. Then the Brahmins say, yes, I'm done. Once there was a Brahmin who came to blame the Buddha, saying that there is no virya, no energy, no vayama, no, intention, sankappa, no chetana, no volition. They are all given by the God. Not as living beings, we can create them. Then the Buddha was patient listening to him. Then after he done, he made sure that he's done. Then he asked a question. See, how prepared are you today? Huh? You had a lot of virya today. Since home, you've been planning to blame me today. Then he understood. Even in that story, Akkosaka Bharadwaja story, Akkosaka Bharadwaja started blaming the Buddha for whatever other reasons. And then when he done, Buddha asked some questions. Brahmin, do you get visitors sometimes to your household? He said, yes, I'm a very hospitable person. I treat everybody with sweets. Okay. Then he asked, what if they politely reject, decline your food? Let's say we just had our lunch, probably brunch, breakfast. What would you do with the prepared food? And he said, doesn't matter. Then we are going to consume when they leave. In the same way, you gave me a very big treat today, but I am not accepting that. Please take it back. The blames. See how technically, how strategically he's the Buddha, right? He could have done anything. Whatever those powers, everything. But he was actually dealing with all these people in the best possible, pleasant way. So we have to learn. So that means, what we're going to do, we might be silent, we might be asking why, and then work accordingly. But we are not going to be exasperated, go to the rage, anger in the same way. Right? Somebody must be cooled down, otherwise we don't know what's going to happen. And then as a post-practice, now you might be very hurt. You may be very hurt. You may be hurt if you don't understand what happened. So as a post-practice, you are going to reflect upon what happened. Maybe you are going to change the perspective that you are having with that particular person. You may be changing the way how you meet that person. You are changing the way how you act with that person as a post-practice. So by doing so, you are going to minimize unnecessary consequences of the speech of other people. Anyways, the Buddha asks us to be practicing Adhivasana or Kanti or Kama, same meaning in our practice, because when we practice so, we can stop unnecessary akusala. Just because the other person is angry, why we want to be angry? Right? That's how we understand it. Then uppannānaṁ sāririkānaṁ vedanānaṁ dukkānaṁ tibbānaṁ karānaṁ katukārnaṁ asātānaṁ amanāpānaṁ pānaharānaṁ adhivāsika jātu. Now this is about the physical pain. That is about the verbal side. Now this whole line is about the physical pain. What kind of physical pain? Sāririkānaṁ is bodily, vedana feeling. What kind of feeling? Dukkhānaṁ. That means painful. Tibbānaṁ means severe. Karānaṁ means rough. Katukārnaṁ means a very acute pain. Asātānaṁ means disagreeable. Amanāpānaṁ means displeasing. Pānaharānaṁ means life-threatening kind of a pain. So the pain has been diversified. The pain has been manifested in different stages, now the pain we have when we have a stomachache and pain we have when we have a cancer. Maybe when somebody got a gunshot. They could be different, right? So it has been diversified in different ways. So the Buddha said, if somebody can practice a certain level of patience, that will help them to minimize. Maybe little to no, anger or whatever bad states, so then they can practice patience. What are the situations where we have a acute pain, very severe pain, maybe a health issue, right? And asatana means that you don't like that pain, but it's coming. Also, amanapana means displeasing. Panaharana means so painful. So you are trying to practice a certain level of patience. So once again, if you can see from the beginning, on one side it's about the temperature. You are practicing certain patience to understand the weather side. On one side it's about the thirst and hunger. On one side it's about the attacks from the animals, which includes certain temperature issues too. On one side it's about the speech side, especially the bad words that are directed to you by other people. On one side it's about the physical pain. So you are going to work on patience on these angles. Then you are going to minimize those akusalas. Then the second one, Buddha says, yan hissa bhikkhave anadivasiko Anadivasayatu uppajjayung asava vigata parilaha. Adhivasayatu evansa te asava vigata parilaha nahone. Now, when someone does not practice patience toward these aspects, that person will come up with vigata parilaha, annoying, burning asavas. That kind of asavas will not arise in someone who practices patience on these aspects. All right, any questions? I think that is Adhivasana.
On Musavada, as mentioned that we should speak the truth. And not
trying our best.
Yes, and not to tell lie. So, what about situation like this in the sense that the person has a very bad habit, and you know that by continuing with this habit, the person is going to end up in some trouble, which has happened and is going to happen again in the future. But at the same time, this person has a lot of ego, high pride, and knowing that if I speak the truth, the person is going to feel very hurt. He is going to get hurt because that person is full of egoists. So what should I do in a situation like this? Thank you.
Well, I think in that kind of a situation, we can be, if you really think we can do something, we can be smart. Maybe I think we can be friendly with that person if we really want to do something. Even the person who has a very high ego can be friendly to us at a certain point in his or her life. So we're going to use that opportunity. We're going to make an opportunity. We make that as an opportunity to enter into his life in a friendly way, and then give an advice if possible. If possible. Otherwise, we may not be able to do much in that case.
So you're waiting for the timing.
Yeah, waiting for the timing.
The right timing.
Right timing, yes. That is something we could do. Maybe bringing him to the right person. Yeah, some people can be changed. Yes. Then we think that this person is a long-term, ego person, but we can change them in a certain good way, wise way. But if you're going to change that person in a very an unnecessary way, there are other bad things will happen too. So we have to be careful. Yeah.
Good evening, Bhante. So if one aspired to be, to have more kusala and less akusala, does it mean the wise person, he must be wise enough to find the right place, like monastic, to be stay in, and also find friends that is Buddhist minded, so that the person will have less akusala and more kusala.
Yeah. What's your focus?
My focus is that
if somebody has more kusalas and less akusala, then?
My question is that, does it mean that one has to find the right place to be in and then right friends to associate with, so that this person will have less akusala creation and more kusala?
Yeah, that's so a good criteria.
The person must be wise enough to find the person's friend, one's friend, and also must know where to go to spend their leisure time.
Yeah. First of all, we have to understand the teachings of the friends in Buddhism. Right? There are two types of friends in Buddhism. One is good and bad friends. One is kalyana mittas. So there are two categories. Good and bad friends were given in the... Where is it given? The Buddha has extensively talked about the good and bad friends in a sutta. Where do we find it? Sigalovada Sutta. Can you remember the names of those friends? Huh? Anyadattuhara, Vachi Parama, Anupiya Bani, Apaya Sahaya. Are these good friends or bad friends? Huh? Bad friends. Then there are 4 good friends. Upakaraka, then Anukampaka, Samana Sukha Dukkha, Attakkai. 4 bad friends and 4 good friends. Then the Kalyana Mittas, they are different category. So we have to understand these 2. Then only we can look at this question. What is Anyatatuhara? Someone, you may have a friend who is always coming to you, take something away from you. Give me something. Right? He or she is always trying to take something away, but not at least equally contributing to you. Vachi Parama is a liar actually. Only a talker and liar. When you ask something, he or she might say, if you had asked me last week, I could have given to you. So he or she is going to treat you from the past. Or he or she might say, if you will ask me by next week, I will be able to give it to you, but not will give it to that person too. Vachi Parama means someone who is treating you from the past or the future. Also a bad friend. Then Anuppya Bani means this friend approves good things and bad things. Do we have such friends? Let's not talk about lies. Yeah, it's a good thing. Let's lie. It's also a good thing. Right? So there are people who don't have any standards, Their standards are in the corner of the row, Pretty minimum actually, minimum level. And then the last type of friends is Apaya Sahaya, party friend. Take you to cost your money, Yeah, Apaya Sahaya friends, party friends. And the good friends are 4. The first one is, what's the first one? Upakaraka, supportive friend. Then, Samana Sukha Dukkha, who is always checking on with you. Are you good today? Did you eat? How are you doing today? Are you okay? That kind of good friend. Huh? And a lot of caring happening. And then, Upakaraka, Samana Sukha Dukkha. Then Attakkai. Attakkai is a good counselor. Whenever you have a problem in your life, you can always approach that person. Can give a good advice, not a bad advice. Always a wise person, you can get a good advice. Whatever happens to you, he or she has the best advice to you. Right? So in this way, there are 4 good friends too. And then the Kalyana Mittas are different category. They are spiritual. They are really support. They are going an extra mile. Going an extra mile from the normal good friendship and then going to support you even for your Dhammacharya. Now they are normal friends, good friends. Normal bad friends. But Kalyana Mittas are going to support you to understand the Dhamma properly. The true Dhamma, right? Not the untrue Dhamma. No Adhamma. Dhamma. The proper training, proper truth, proper text, right? So, as a normal layperson, when you want to associate good people, yes, one of the criterion is that going for a person who has this Kalyana Mitta nature. Definitely they must have less akusalas, right? Less akusalas and more kusalas, yes. Because you won't be able to find out somebody who is 100% working on kusala, because it's a worldly world, right? Yes. Makes sense? Yeah, but it's a good approach. But the problem is, how do we know whether they are doing kusala or akusala? Most kusalas, akusalas come from the mind. We don't know what's happening, right? So that means we have to associate them for some time. Don't just trust somebody in 1 day, 2 days, 1 month. Then we know that they are spiritually good people. Right? Any other questions about today? Adhivasana?
Bhante, so we have these 10 factors.
10 fetters.
10 factors, and we have learned so-called up to date, I think we've done the 4 ways: the sensing, the restraint, the guarding, and the patient. So on these 10 factors, right? I mean, the 4 ways that we learned, is it applied specifically to each factors, or it can be used for all?
Not necessarily. Now, do all of you know about 10 fetters? Now he's talking about 10 fetters. Do all of you know what they are? When you want to attain Nibbana, there are structured akusalas that you have to overcome. They are structured one. But those akusalas, I would say they are sangyojanas. We call them sangyojanas. The asavas can be spread over to all these fetters. Now some asavas are going around. The first one, what you call sakkaya ditthi. Some asavas going around silabbata paramasa. So we cannot particularly specify that this asava is with this and that. So this is a what you call general practice. When you keep doing that, what you call sangyojanas will be withdrawn temporarily, maybe permanently. So there's no specification that these asavas are the ones that are actually really working on these sangyojanas. Yeah, don't think about those 10 because we have to do small projects. Small projects, not the big one. That is a big one, those 10. You will gradually overcome them. But the most important thing is what is happening in my daily life. That is what matters to me most. Since I wake up early in the morning, what is happening to me? Actually, these are the things happening to me. If I'm not patient enough, I'm not trying to wisely reflect on what's happening to me, right? But when you say sakkaya ditthi, that's a very big concept, right? But we understand them too in a certain way. So, SABBASAVA Sutta teaches us how to understand our daily life and what are the asavas, akusalas that are bothering us in our daily life. So when we, understand our daily life, then we are almost going to overcome certain asava, what you call sangyojanas.
Bhante,
Yes,
is there any way to practice patience?
Asking me a good way to practice patience?
Yeah.
I think in order to practice patience, we need to practice virya in a certain way, because if sometimes we are too much with virya, our energy has to be there. Without energy, without a proper level of energy, patience is difficult to practice. And when you think about patience, the best thing is to understand, accept what's happening. No resistance to the conflicts. That is an easy way to think about patience. Once we are in conflict with things, phenomena, events, situations, we create an enormous amount of resistance. So from that point onwards, there is no patience coming up. So recognize, accept the situations. That will help you to understand patience. Now, even these are situations. You have to accept them. Now, think about Sitasa Unhasa weather conditions. Weather or maybe artificial conditions of weather, temperature. They are situations. The more we understand about the coldness, or I would say heat, then the more we are patient. So we have to understand, recognize and accept the situation. That itself helps us to come up with lots of patience. So there is not a shortcut, unfortunately. No shortcut. Recognizing and understanding what's happening is the basic to the patient. Right? Now when you go see a specialist, you see the numbers are displaying. You are number 8. So you have to understand the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only you will come. Right? Your turn will come. In the same way, we have to... Now why we are impatient in most places? Because we don't understand what's happening there. So develop more understanding about what's happening. It will give you the urge, the room for patience. Everybody knows it's good to be patient. So more understanding. That means you need some sort of anapanasati. Right? Anapanasati is the good way to practice a certain level of clarity of the mind, right? That will help you, see the clarity of the mind. Has anybody lost any major important things in your life because you didn't have enough patience in your life? Did you lose people due to impatience? Huh? Lost friendships. It cost a lot, huh? If it costs money, it's okay. but if it cost very beautiful, good people, because we didn't have lots of understanding, some clear understanding about those moments, situations. So patience will arise naturally when you give more when you understand more about the situation. I normally call it a tip of iceberg, The tip is on the surface, and then the iceberg is below the sea level, right? But if you're going to make decisions based on the tip, but not from the iceberg, then things are going to work in a different direction.
And let no one cheat another, let no one insult another, and let no one expect the suffering of another. So my question is this for our own self, or are we supposed to tell someone?
Both ways.
So if I know this person is
Two-way.
insulting...
It's a two-way thing.
Okay.
Buddhist practices are two-way stuff.
All right.
Not one way.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about me, it's about others. Yes.
So we should setting point,
Starting from us,
starting,
and then directing to others too. And then oneself and others together. A lot of people, they end up with only oneself. Starting from oneself, and then directing to others, and then oneself and others together. That's why even when we say transference of merits, Akasattacha Bummatta Adhivanaga Mahitika Punyantang Anumoditva. Finally, Chirang Rakkang Tumam Parang. May the Devanaga Mahitika protect me. Say, then we're going to say, may Devanaga Mahitika protect you. In the Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha says, Ajjatta Bahidda. We have to practice meditation from inside, looking at us and looking at other people. Why? If not, we will create a certain good Sakkaya Ditti. Good Sakkaya Ditti. Sakkaya Ditti is bad, then there cannot be good and bad Sakkaya Ditti. Now we normally have Sakkaya Ditti about bad stuff. The Lobha Dosa Moha Sakkaya Ditti. Sometimes we are creating Sakkaya Ditti about our practice. Maybe things about the Vihara, things about our dana practice. We think about us, I am doing better than others. That's why the Buddha said you have to practice all the Satipatthana practices externally, Bahiddhava. It means, just like me, other people are also breathing in and out. When that comes to my mind, yes, this is a universalized thing, everybody can do. Then I will not end up my meditation with thinking, I am the only one who breathe in, who breathe in, breathe out very well. Buddha knew that people get into this issue. That's why the second line of each Satipatthana is Ajjatta Bahiddhava Samudaya Vayadhammanupassiva. He mentions that. Unfortunately, people don't look at that side. They pick up the first section, they practice. This is Anapanasati. This is Iriyapata, posture meditation. This is Sampajanya. This is 31 body parts meditation. These are the 9 channel ground contemplation. This is Vedananupasana. Buddha clearly says at the end of each meditation practices, Satipatthana Sutta, Ajjatta Bahiddhava. All right, I think we almost come to the time. So today we learn about how to, the importance of practicing patience. By doing so, we can minimize a lot of akusalas. So try to practice more and more, deepen your practice. You will find lots of peace, lots of natural peace that is coming from within.